The Indian Constitution itself reminds us of our responsibility towards nature. Article 48A clearly states that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forests and wildlife of the country. This means that protecting the environment is not just a personal choice but a duty of the government and every citizen. It shows how deeply our laws value forests, wildlife, and the overall quality of the environment.
Society is formed when people live together in villages, towns, cities, states, and countries. But society does not exist in isolation, it constantly interacts with the environment. We depend on natural resources for food, shelter, water, and energy. And at the same time, our actions change the environment. If this interaction is balanced, both society and nature thrive. But if the balance is disturbed, the environment suffers, and society itself faces problems.
As the population grows, the demand for resources like food, water, and energy also increases. Economic activities such as industries, transport, and agriculture expand to meet these needs. Industrial development and intensive farming provide goods for our consumer-oriented society, but they also consume huge amounts of water, minerals, petroleum, and wood. This overuse leads to pollution, deforestation, and soil degradation. In short, human progress often comes at the cost of environmental health.
Society cannot survive without the environment. Every tree we save, every drop of water we conserve, and every effort we make to reduce waste protects not just nature but also the foundation of our society. By caring for the environment, we are ensuring a healthier, safer, and more sustainable future for ourselves and generations to come.
A resource is anything, natural or artificial, that humans use for their welfare. From the beginning of life on Earth, humans and other organisms have depended on things freely available in nature, such as water, land, soil, forests, animals, fossil fuels, and minerals. These are called natural resources because they form the basis of life. We use them directly for food, health, and comfort, and indirectly because they regulate climate, prevent floods, and recycle nutrients. Alongside these, humans have also created artificial resources like biogas, electricity, and plastics during the course of civilization.
Land is a finite resource. Humans use it for farming, building houses, industries, and recreation. Since land cannot be increased, it must be managed carefully to balance agricultural and non-agricultural uses such as infrastructure development.
Forests are self-sustaining communities of trees and other organisms. They provide wood for furniture, tools, railway sleepers, bridges, and boats. Forests also give us tannins, gums, medicines, spices, insecticides, waxes, honey, hides, ivory, and musk. Beyond material goods, forests are vital for energy, climate regulation, and biodiversity.
Water covers about 3/4 of Earth's surface and is essential for life. Rivers, lakes, oceans, and underground aquifers supply water for agriculture, industries, households, recreation, and environmental balance. Without clean and sufficient water, survival is impossible.
Minerals are naturally occurring substances found in the Earth's crust. They can be solid, liquid, or gaseous. Metals like iron, copper, and aluminium, and non-metals like salt, gypsum, clay, and phosphates are examples. Some minerals consist of single elements such as gold, silver, diamond, and sulfur. Minerals are non-renewable, meaning once they are used, they cannot be replaced quickly.
Food resources include plants and animals that provide nourishment for living beings. Plants serve as food for herbivores and omnivores, while animals and birds are food for carnivores and omnivores. For humans, Agriculture is the main source of plant-based food, making farming a critical activity for survival.
Energy resources are sources that produce heat, power, movement, or electricity. The 5 fundamental sources are: solar energy from nuclear fusion in the sun, gravitational energy from Earth and Moon, nuclear fission reactions, geothermal energy from Earth's interior, chemical energy stored in bonds. Most of today's energy comes from fossil fuels, which are essentially stored solar energy. However, fossil fuels are non-renewable and cause pollution, making them harmful in the long run.
Some resources in nature are so abundant that they can never be exhausted by human use. These are called inexhaustible resources. They are constantly available and will not run out no matter how much we use them. Examples include solar radiation, wind power, water power, and tidal power. These energy sources are naturally replenished and can support human needs indefinitely. Unlike inexhaustible resources, some resources exist only in limited quantities. These are called exhaustible resources because they can be depleted if used continuously without care. For instance, coal deposits in the earth are finite. If we keep consuming coal excessively, one day it will no longer be available for our use. This shows the importance of conserving such resources.
Renewable resources are those that are constantly available or can be reasonably replaced or recovered after use. Examples include water and vegetative lands. Forests are also renewable because trees can regrow after being cut. However, if an entire forest is cleared for construction, it may be lost forever. Renewable energy systems such as hydropower, solar, wind, and geothermal energy are less polluting and can be replenished naturally, making them more sustainable for long-term use. Non-renewable resources are those that cannot be easily replaced once they are destroyed. They take thousands of years to form naturally, which makes them unavailable on a human time scale. Fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas are prime examples. Minerals like gold, iron, bauxite, and mica are also non-renewable. These are sometimes called inorganic resources because they come from non-living things such as minerals, land, soil, and rocks. Careless exploitation of these resources can lead to permanent loss.
Overexploitation happens when humans harvest natural resources faster than they can reproduce or replenish. When species or ecosystems are exploited beyond their natural recovery rate, it can lead to extinction and disturb the ecological cycle. Examples include removing wild medicinal plants, excessive grazing of pastures, cutting down forests, draining water aquifers, overfishing, and overhunting. These actions reduce biodiversity and weaken the stability of natural habitats.
Mining involves digging below the Earth's surface to extract ores that contain valuable metals, gems, and minerals. While mining provides important resources, it has serious environmental impacts. It causes soil erosion, formation of sinkholes, and loss of biodiversity. Chemicals used in mining contaminate soil, groundwater, and surface water, making them unsafe for plants, animals, and humans. Thus, mining often leaves long-lasting scars on the environment.
Deforestation is the clearing of forests or stands of trees, usually to convert land for agriculture, construction, or other non-forest uses. This activity destroys the natural habitat of countless plants and animals. As forests disappear, many species face extinction. Deforestation also reduces the Earth's ability to absorb carbon dioxide, worsening climate change and disturbing rainfall patterns.
The word pollution comes from the Latin word polluere, meaning to soil or contaminate. Pollution occurs when harmful substances, solid, liquid, or gaseous, are released into the environment. Human activities such as industrial production, burning fossil fuels, and careless waste disposal produce pollutants that damage air, water, and soil. Factories consume large amounts of water and electricity and release toxic chemicals into the environment. Water pollution from industries is especially dangerous, while air pollution from fossil fuel emissions adds harmful gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. These pollutants affect plants, animals, and humans, leading to health problems and ecological imbalance.
Biodegradable pollutants are those that can break down naturally into simpler and harmless substances. This decomposition happens through the action of moisture, bacteria, and other natural processes. Because they do not remain in the environment for long, they are less harmful and can even enrich the soil when managed properly. Examples of biodegradable pollutants include vegetable waste, sewage waste, paper, wood, cattle dung, and agricultural waste from organic farms.
Non-biodegradable pollutants are substances that cannot be broken down into simpler, harmless forms. They remain in the environment for hundreds of years, causing long-term damage to soil, water, and air. These pollutants accumulate and harm plants, animals, and humans by disrupting natural cycles and contaminating ecosystems. Examples include plastics, insecticides, pesticides, chemicals like mercury or lead, aluminium, and glass.
Exhaust fumes released from vehicles pollute the air by adding harmful gases and particles, which reduce air quality, cause health problems like asthma and lung diseases, and contribute to global warming. Excessive use of chemicals in agriculture, such as insecticides and fertilizers, changes the alkalinity or pH of the soil, harming microorganisms and other living organisms, and reducing soil fertility over time. Plastic waste like bottles and bags, when thrown on land or into water bodies, pollutes the environment by damaging soil quality and harming aquatic life such as fish and birds, since plastics do not decompose easily and remain for hundreds of years. In addition, dangerous gases such as chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, methane, and carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere through human activities. These gases trap heat, causing global warming, while CFCs damage the ozone layer, allowing harmful radiation to reach Earth and posing serious threats to human health and the environment.
Land pollution occurs when harmful substances damage the soil, making it less useful for forests, farms, or homes. It often leads to diseases such as dysentery, cholera, and typhoid, and is caused by cutting down forests, excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers, mining, heavy construction, and the release of sewage and chemical waste. Water pollution happens when harmful substances and disease-causing microorganisms are added to rivers, lakes, and oceans. This results in diseases like diarrhea, jaundice, and typhoid, reduces the availability of clean drinking water, and harms local livelihoods such as fishing and tourism. Common causes include throwing waste into water bodies, leakage from sewer lines, untreated factory waste, and accidental oil spills from ships. Air pollution is caused by the addition of harmful gases and particles into the atmosphere, leading to heart and breathing problems, cancers, and larger issues such as climate change, droughts, famines, and floods. It is mainly caused by burning fuels, smoke from traffic, burning of waste and crop remains, and emissions from factories. To prevent these types of pollution, we must reduce waste, segregate biodegradable and non-biodegradable products, plant more trees, adopt organic farming methods, use biodegradable items, avoid throwing chemicals and waste into drains and water bodies, ensure proper treatment of sewage and factory waste, use water wisely, rely on renewable sources of energy, avoid polluting vehicles, and discourage burning of waste and leftover crops. By taking these steps, we can protect our land, water, and air from further damage and ensure a healthier environment for all.
Climate change occurs because of the greenhouse effect, a process similar to how a closed car parked in the sun becomes hotter as heat is trapped inside. The burning of fossil fuels such as coal, petrol, diesel, oil, and gas releases gases that trap heat in the atmosphere, preventing it from escaping. Forests normally absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, but deforestation reduces this balance and increases greenhouse gases. Important greenhouse gases include water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone, while industrial gases such as chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, HCFCs, and hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, also contribute significantly. The effects of climate change are severe. Rapid melting of snow and ice, a 31% rise in carbon dioxide since pre-industrial times, more heat trapped in the lower atmosphere, frequent floods, extreme climate changes, and damage to crops and animal life.
The atmosphere protects us from harmful radiation from the sun through a layer called the ozone layer, which is made of ozone gas and surrounds the Earth. This layer acts as a shield, preventing dangerous ultraviolet radiation from reaching us. However, certain human activities release ozone-depleting substances, such as chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, found in cleaning chemicals, refrigerators, and air conditioners. These chemicals destroy ozone molecules, creating holes in the ozone layer. As a result, harmful radiation enters through these gaps and increases the risk of health problems, including skin cancer, while also disturbing the balance of life on Earth.
Natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, landslides, and storms occur due to natural forces, but their impact can be worsened by human activities. When we exploit natural resources carelessly, for example by cutting forests, mining, or constructing large dams and buildings, we disturb the natural balance of the environment. These actions often aggravate the severity of natural calamities, leading to greater damage to people, property, and ecosystems.
To save our environment, the most important step is to educate people, as education provides the knowledge and skills needed to act responsibly. Environmental education can be understood in three ways: learning about the environment, learning through the environment, and learning for the environment. Learning about the environment focuses on gaining knowledge and understanding of our surroundings and related issues. Learning through the environment involves direct engagement inside and outside the classroom, using observation, hands-on experience, problem-solving, and learning by doing to build skills and appreciation. This approach helps minimize environmental damage by developing abilities for efficient resource use, adopting green technologies, and integrating sustainable practices into daily life. Finally, learning for the environment emphasizes developing informed responses and a sense of responsibility, encouraging people to act as responsible citizens who protect and preserve nature for future generations.
The concept of the 3 rupees, reduce, reuse, and recycle, is a modern approach to waste management and saving the environment. Reduce means avoiding unnecessary use of items so that less waste is generated and fewer natural resources are consumed. For example, buying products with minimal packaging, avoiding disposable items, and carrying reusable cloth or jute bags instead of plastic ones. Reuse involves using materials again for different purposes, such as turning old clothes into pillow covers or cleaning rags, which extends their life and reduces waste. Recycle refers to processing waste materials to create new products, which conserves resources, saves energy, and reduces pollution. Metals like aluminum and steel can be recycled many times, while paper, glass, and plastics are also recyclable. Kitchen wet waste can be converted into compost or vermicompost to serve as organic fertilizer, provided households segregate wet and dry garbage. With technological advances, even industrial waste can be processed to recover useful materials, making recycling an essential step towards sustainable living.
To save the environment, we must adopt responsible actions and avoid harmful practices. Air pollution can be reduced by not burning materials such as wheat or rice straw in agricultural fields, and by preferring natural ventilation or fans instead of air conditioners. Energy use should be minimized by switching off electrical lights and appliances when not required, and by using public transport, bicycles, or renewable sources like solar and wind energy. Water pollution can be prevented by not throwing waste into rivers and lakes, by recycling water, and by harvesting rainwater for gardens. Waste management requires avoiding plastic bags, segregating biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, and reusing materials wherever possible. Choosing organic, chemical-free food and avoiding pesticides and fertilizers helps protect forests, plants, and soil. Overuse of paper and water should be avoided, while green skills such as reusing paper for new products and reducing water use during bathing by using a bucket instead of a shower can make daily life more sustainable. Together, these small but meaningful actions help conserve resources, reduce pollution, and protect the environment for future generations.
Energy conservation is important because it helps save fossil fuels and reduces the money spent on energy use. Soil conservation, on the other hand, means checking soil erosion and improving soil fertility through various methods. Fertility can be maintained by regularly adding manure and fertilizers and by practicing crop rotation. Grazing should be controlled and allowed only in specified areas to prevent soil damage. Reforestation, or planting trees and vegetation, helps reduce erosion, while terracing, dividing slopes into flat fields, controls rapid water runoff, especially in hilly regions. Another effective method is contour plowing, where plowing is done at right angles to the slope so that furrows trap water and check erosion caused by rain. Together, these practices conserve soil and ensure sustainable agriculture.
Water conservation and management are essential for the survival of humans, plants, and animals, and can be achieved through several methods. Vegetation should be grown in catchment areas to hold water in the soil, allowing it to percolate into deeper layers and contribute to groundwater formation. Dams and reservoirs can be constructed to regulate water supply to fields and generate hydroelectricity. Sewage must be treated so that only clean water is released into rivers, while industrial effluents should also be treated to prevent chemical and thermal pollution of freshwater. In daily life, water should be used judiciously, and rainwater harvesting should be practiced to store rainwater and recharge groundwater. Watershed management, which treats land and its drainage system as a single unit, combines soil and water conservation with the development of vegetative cover, ensuring sustainable use of water resources.
Food conservation and storage have always been important to ensure mankind's survival during times of shortage. On a large scale, food is stored in warehouse, while at home it is kept in refrigerators to maintain freshness. To prevent spoilage, food is preserved through various methods that protect it from harmful bacteria and other microorganisms. These practices not only extend the shelf life of food, but also ensure that safe and nutritious supplies are available when needed.
Forest conservation refers to retaining existing forests or creating new ones at levels prescribed by the state or local authorities. It ensures ecological balance, protects biodiversity, and sustains resources for future generations. For such programs to succeed, the active participation of communities living in and around forests is essential, as they play a direct role in protecting, managing, and nurturing forest areas.
Sustainable development is defined as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It ensures a balance between economic growth, environmental care, and social well-being. The concept was first introduced in 1987 through the Brundtland Report, which highlighted the negative environmental consequences of unchecked economic growth and globalization. Sustainable development can be achieved by reducing excessive use of resources, enhancing conservation, recycling and reusing waste materials, and managing renewable resources scientifically, especially bioresources. Planting more trees, creating green patches between concrete buildings, and using eco-friendly or biodegradable materials are also important steps. Additionally, adopting technologies that are resource-efficient and environmentally friendly helps ensure progress today without harming tomorrow.
Green growth means achieving economic progress that is socially inclusive and environmentally sustainable. Recognized by the Government of India, it links poverty eradication with eco-friendly growth strategies. It focuses on reducing resource use, creating jobs, and ensuring long-term development by considering environmental impacts. For example, replacing polluting vehicles with efficient public transport supports both growth and sustainability.
A green economy is one that improves human well-being and social equity while reducing environmental risks and ecological scarcities. First introduced in 1989 through the Blueprint for a Green Economy report, it is defined by UNEP as low-carbon, resource-efficient, and socially inclusive. It promotes economic growth while protecting the environment, raising awareness about health hazards from harmful chemicals, and encouraging the use of eco-friendly products made by environmentally sensitive industries.
The main components of a green economy include renewable energy, green building, sustainable transport, waste management, and land management. Renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydro reduce carbon emissions, while green buildings are designed to save energy, water, and resources. Sustainable transport promotes efficient public systems and eco-friendly vehicles to cut pollution. Waste management focuses on recycling, reusing, and proper disposal to minimize harm, and land management ensures responsible use of land through afforestation, soil conservation, and sustainable agriculture. Together, these components support economic growth while protecting the environment.
Green skills are the abilities required to promote a green economy and support sustainability. They are needed in areas such as renewable energy, sewer water treatment, climate-resilient cities, green construction, and solid waste management. The GreenSkills Agreement defines them as the technical skills, knowledge, values, and attitudes necessary in the workforce to achieve sustainable social, economic, and environmental outcomes. These skills contribute to sustainable development through practices like using renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power, managing water and waste effectively, harvesting rainwater, conserving energy, and reducing pollution.
A green job is employment in any industry that contributes to preserving or restoring environmental quality while supporting sustainable development. Such jobs protect ecosystems and biodiversity, reduce energy, material, and water consumption through efficiency, and promote eco-friendly technologies. Green jobs exist across sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, research, and construction, and they play a vital role in transitioning from a high-carbon to a low-carbon economy. With the rise of green buildings and energy efficiency, the demand for professionals such as architects, engineers, technicians, plumbers, and construction workers is steadily increasing.
Many people and organizations are motivated to save the environment by implementing green projects in areas such as waste management, energy conservation, green sanitation, biofuel use, and eco-friendly buildings. These projects highlight practical techniques that support sustainable development and growth. For example, the Swachh Cooperative works on solid waste management. The Society of Development and Environment Protection promotes the use of modern chulhas to reduce pollution, and the Green Solution Foundation develops biotoilets to improve sanitation. Together, such initiatives demonstrate how focused efforts can protect the environment while supporting community well-being.
Economic development is consuming the world's resources so rapidly that future generations may face severe environmental problems. With rising population and income, consumption and production are increasing, leading to greater use of scarce natural resources. To prevent environmental destruction, society must adopt sustainable development, where individuals practice eco-friendly lifestyles and resources are used carefully. Sustainable development, defined as meeting present needs without compromising the future, emphasizes methods like sustainable agriculture, which uses environment-friendly farming practices to produce crops and livestock without harming human or natural systems.
Sustainable development faces three major problems related to food, water, and fuel. Fertile land for crops like wheat and rice is shrinking due to other land uses, while soil nutrients are depleting and chemical fertilizers are damaging the soil. Fresh water sources, such as rivers and ponds, are being polluted by garbage dumping, which threatens the availability of clean water in the future. In addition, excessive cutting of trees for fuel, housing, and furniture is disturbing the climate, leading to extreme weather conditions like floods, severe cold, and heat that affect human life.
Sustainable development includes reducing excessive use of resources and promoting conservation, along with recycling and reusing waste materials. It emphasizes the scientific management of renewable resources, especially bioresources, and encourages planting more trees as well as creating green patches among concrete buildings. It also involves using eco-friendly or biodegradable materials and adopting technologies that are environmentally friendly and based on efficient resource use. Together, these practices ensure growth that protects both people and the planet.
The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all. Launched at the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in New York in September 2015, they form the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, with targets to be achieved by 2030. There are 17 SDGs that address global challenges such as poverty, gender equality, water use, energy, climate change, and biodiversity. To meet these goals, countries are creating policies and regulations that promote sustainable systems across all economic sectors, ensuring a secure, affordable, and environmentally friendly future.
Sustainable development aims to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity through the 17 global goals set by the United Nations. Our role is to act as responsible citizens by conserving resources, promoting clean energy, ensuring education, reducing inequalities, and protecting life on land and water. Together, these efforts help achieve a secure and sustainable future for all.
Education is one of the most important factors for sustainable development. Children who go to school can later find jobs to support themselves and their families. Education also makes us aware of our responsibilities as citizens. We can contribute by using the facilities available in our area, encouraging friends to attend school, helping them study, and preventing them from dropping out.
Clean water and proper sanitation are essential for a healthy life. To achieve this, we must build toilets, stop open defecation, and spread awareness about sanitation. Industrial pollution is contaminating rivers and ponds, which may cause scarcity of clean drinking water in the future. Therefore, we must take steps to keep our water sources clean and safe.
Energy from renewable sources like solar power is pollution-free and does not depend on burning coal or other non-renewable fuels. Increasing solar power generation helps meet electricity needs while protecting the environment. Similarly, biogas is an eco-friendly alternative to natural gas that reduces pollution and saves resources.
Sustainable development also requires decent work opportunities and economic growth. We can achieve this by studying well, finding good jobs, and working hard to contribute to society. Learning new skills adds value to our community and helps us grow together.
Reducing inequalities means treating everyone fairly and equally. We can do this by being helpful and friendly, including everyone in work and play, and respecting people regardless of their gender, class, or caste. By practicing equality, we build a more just and united society.
Creating sustainable cities requires responsible use of energy. We can save electricity by switching off lights and fans when not in use, using natural light whenever possible, and adopting energy-efficient appliances like LED bulbs. These small actions make our communities more sustainable.
We must become responsible consumers and producers to protect the environment. This includes reusing paper, glass, plastic, and water, carrying cloth bags to markets, and donating unused items like clothes or books. Buying seasonal fruits and vegetables locally, repairing leaking taps, and sorting garbage before disposal are also important steps.
Marine life is under threat due to tons of plastic waste in the oceans. Protecting seas and oceans from pollution is necessary to save marine species and maintain biodiversity. Reducing plastic use and keeping water bodies clean are vital actions. Cutting trees leads to soil erosion and makes land unsuitable for cultivation. To protect life on land, we must plant more trees to replace those that are cut. Afforestation helps restore soil fertility, prevents erosion, and supports sustainable agriculture.